Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on Little Slam channel. So today in this video we will see how to use the JSR223 listener, and we will see what are the benefits and how does it differ from the other listeners in JMeter. So first let's add a project. So I'm going to open my previously executed project. So here I have my http request.jmx. Let me remove this. Now what I will show you why and how to use all these. So here I have a simple http request sampler. So let me execute and show it to you. So here I have just executed the http request, and here is the response data. So the basic objective of this video is to let you know how effectively we can use the JSR223 listener. So to add the listener, I'll have to click on the HTTP request and right click on the add, then listener, and then the JSR223 listener. So now I have added the listener, and here in this video I will show you I'm going to extract the response from this particular request. So I'm going to extract this response, and I'm going to extract the variable. I'm going to save it in a variable, and also I'm going to export it in a CSV file. So in case if you want to do any of these actions, please do watch the video, and this video will help you to understand how to use the code effectively in the JSR223 listener. So for this example I'm going to use the Groovy script. So first let me import all the libraries. So here are the libraries which I'm going to import. I'm going to import the JMeter variables, and I'm going to import the JSoup, the nodes.document, the nodes.element, and select.elements. And now the very first thing which you're going to do is I'm going to get the HTML response from the previous sampler. So I'm going to get the response from the HTTP request to sampler. So this code here, this string HTML response is equal to previous.get response data string will get all the response. We'll get all the HTML response from the previous sampler. So now the next step is we're going to parse the HTML using JSoup. And here's the code for that. So I'm going to parse the HTML using JSoup using document doc equals jsoup.parse of HTML response. And now the next action is I'm going to extract the product information. So here I'm going to extract the product information, and I'm using the tag which is the tr tag. So I'll show you here. So here all these products are tagged under the tr tag. So any products that comes under the tr tag will be extracted, and that's what I'm going to do using this extract product information line, the code. So once I extract it, I'm going to initialize the variable to store the extracted data, and here I have the code for that. And the product IDs will store the extracted data for the product IDs, and then the product names. So here in this example you can see I have the product ID, the K9 BD01, and then I have the product name which is the Bulldog and Poodle, Dalmatian and Golden Retriever. So these are some of the products which I have in this application. So in the same thing, when you are trying to extract some values in your response, you can use this example. I will try to save this product. I'll try to save this code in the GitHub, but I'll try to share the link in the comment section. So the next thing here is we'll go to the listener, and then we'll try to add the next code. So what I'm going to do now here is I'm going to iterate through the product elements, and for that I'm using the for loop. So using this for loop, I'm going to go through all the elements, all the product elements, and here you can see I'm going to extract. I'm getting the product ID from the first cell, and I'm getting the product name. So once I extract all of them, I'm then going to set the variables for later use in the test bed. So in case if you want to extract or if you want to manipulate the values, you can use it very effectively using this way. So here you can see I have set the variables to JMeter variables for later use in the test plan. So all these variables will be in the product IDs, and then the product names will be here the product names. And now the next thing is I'm going to add an assertion based on the extracted information, and for that I'm going to use another for loop where I will check for all the values which I have extracted in the response session. So I'll show you how to add a response session, and here in this following code here, so I'm adding an assertion based on the criteria. So in this assertion I'm going to add the value which is the Labrador, and we will see whether this value is found in the response assertion based on the values that we have extracted. And finally I'll close all the brackets. So with that we have completed the scripts. So I have added the HTML request, and I have the server name, IP, and the path, and then I have added a listener. And now I'm going to save this project. Let me just save this project. Save this plan as JSR223 listener. Save, I've saved it, and let's execute the script. And here let me run it again. So we got an error. Let's see what's the error. So when I execute this request, I don't find any errors here, but still you can see this is failed, and the reason here is it shows the error count is equal to 1 and the response message is Labrador product found. And when I go inside the code, so here you can see the previous responses said successful is equal to false when the Labrador product is found or when the Labrador is found. So here there is an advantage of using this particular listener, the JSR223 listener, is you don't even need to add the assertions using the plugins or using the listener, the assertions. Instead you can just write a line of code and you can use the assertion. So this will actually save you a lot of resources when you are running a big test or a big load test. Instead of adding an assertion manually, you can just write a line of code, and which will save you a lot of time and resource, and in fact you can use it to do your validation. So here I will show you how to fix this. So here the condition which I have added here is the previous dot set successful is equal to false when the item is found. So I'm going to change this to true. So when I change this to true, and if I execute this again, so here this one is already failed, so I'm just running one more time, and here you can see the error count is 0, the sample count is 1, and the Labrador product is found. So with that we can use this JSR223 listener to run this code too. So so what are the things that we did here? So we are extracting the product information, we are initializing the variables, we are iterating through the product elements, and then even we are doing an assertions without even adding an assertion in the script. And so there is one more thing which I can show you, which is sometimes you are supposed to extract the values to the external file or something like that. So where you want to extract what are all the values you have used in your script. So even we can do that using the JSR223 listener. So to do that, first I have to import the library files, and here are the two library files, which is the file server and the file utils. And then I'm going to extract the data from JMeter variables, and for that I'm going to use this following code here. So this will extract the data from JMeter variables, because here we have the product IDs and the product name, and I'm going to save it in the product ID from vars and then product name from vars. And even you can see here when I'm using the log.info, all the product IDs and the product names are even displayed here, but still it's always good if we can extract them in a CSV file or in a different format. And here I'm going to define the path. So in this location I'm going to extract the file. And there is one more thing. So when you are entering the file location, you want to use doubles backslash. This will escape the backslash in the JMeter code. And now I'm going to create a CSV content string. So this will create a constant content string. So the product ID and the product name will be in two different columns. and then at the end I'm going to add a try statement. So this will write all the files, and in case if there are any errors in exporting the file, I'll get an error message. So now let me save this and let me run it again. So I've executed it again and it's run, no errors. Let me go to the location. Yes, so here I can see the output.csv file with all the variables. So with that I come to an end, and I believe this video would have been very useful to you. So in fact, before I complete, let me export it to the github.com, and let me create a new repo, and this will be a JSR223 listener. I'm creating a repository and you will upload the file. So let me add the file for you. So let me go here, upload the file. Sorry, it's in JSR223 assertions. So I'm going to this one we do here is JSR223 listener. So let me go back to the, and I will drag the file. So in case anytime you want to use this file, please do download this JMX file and use it in your location, use it in your validation. And before I complete this video, let me just give you a quick overview on the benefits. So the first flexibility here with the JSR223 listener is the JSR223 listener offers incredible flexibility, and it lets you run custom scripts in various language within your JMeter test plan, giving you the power to perform complex tasks. And next thing is the dynamic testing, where we can simulate dynamic user behavior, we can handle authentication, we can create dynamic correlations to mimic real world scenarios. And the third benefit is the data manipulation, where JSR223 listener allows you to manipulate data on the fly. We can transform, we can calculate or extract data from responses to simulate real user interactions like the way we did here today. And then next is the custom assertions. So we can tailor our assertions to match our application's unique response structure or validation criteria, providing more accurate testing. So in this example, we saw how to use the response assertions. In fact, I can come up with some more examples where we can use other assertions using the JSR223 listener. And then when it comes to the logging and debugging, it is a fantastic tool for logging and debugging. We can log message and variable values to diagnose issues during testing. And when it comes to the reusability, encapsulate reusable code within the JSR223 listener, promotes code reusability across multiple test plans and thread groups. And then the third-party libraries, we can easily integrate any third-party libraries like the way we did here for encryption, data parsing, and more to extend the JMeter capabilities. The advanced scenarios, it can handle advanced scenarios like distributed testing, integration with external systems, or complex logic that standard JMeter elements cannot address. And then when it comes to custom reporting, we can generate custom reports or summaries to present data in a format that suits our specific needs, or integrate JMeter with other reporting tools. And also the final benefit is choosing the scripting language. So we can choose the scripting language that best suits our team's expertise, making it adaptable to different environments. So before I complete, let me just give you a quick overlook on what is the differences between this JSR223 listener and the various other listeners. So the first thing is the view results tree. So the view results tree listener is great for visually inspecting individual sampler results. However, it does not offer the flexibility of custom scripting or any dynamic behavior. and then the assertion results listener. So it is useful for basic assertions, but it might not cover all our validation needs. The JSR223 listener allows us to create highly customized assertions. And next comes the response times over time listener. So this listener focuses on response times but does not provide scripting capabilities. JSR223 listener lets you log and manipulate data based on response times. And next we have the debug sampler listener. So the debug sampler listener helps with debugging, but it does not offer the same level of scripting and data manipulation as the JSR223 listener. And finally, the summary report listener. So this listener provides basic performance metrics, but JSR223 listener allows you to generate custom reports and capture more detailed data. So in our next video, we will see how to generate custom reports and how can we capture more detailed data. So with that, I come to an end. I believe this video would have been very useful to you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until I meet you in another interesting video, it's bye bye from Vathan and Little Sla.